day to you, and thank you for choosing Algebra Notes Simply. Today we are going to look at solving three variable system equations. And this is the example we're going to use. In solving three variable system equations, we know first we do get to choose which variable we want to eliminate first. In this equation, we're going to eliminate the y first. Also, in order to eliminate a variable with the coefficient, they must be the same coefficient but opposite signs so they can be eliminated evenly. If they are not the same coefficient, opposite signs, then we must multiply the whole equation by that coefficient needed in order to ensure it becomes the same coefficient, opposite signs, so it can evenly add out. With that being said, our step one is to add equation 1 and equation 2 together to get equation A. So let's add equation 1 and equation 2 together. We do that by adding 2x plus y plus 3z equals a negative 2. Adding that with equation 2 is x minus y minus z equals negative 3. We see that the coefficient on the y in these two equations are the same. They're both just the 1. Positive 1 and negative 1, so they will cancel out evenly. So let's add the equation together. 2x plus x is a 3x. Positive y plus a negative y do cancel out to 0. Positive 3z minus a z is a positive 2z. Bring down the equal sign. Negative 2 and a negative 3 is a negative 5. So our new equation A is 3x plus 2z equals a negative 5. Also, next step, we are to add equations again. Equation 2, add with equation 3 so we can get equation B. In looking at equation 2 and equation 3, we notice those coefficients are not the same on the y, and they are not opposite signs. We see this coefficient is a negative 2y. We need the opposite of negative 2y, which is a positive 2y, in order for them to add out evenly. What do we multiply this negative y by to make it a positive 2y? We have to multiply by a negative 2. We do not just that term, but we do the whole equation. All the terms must be multiplied by the coefficient. Let's do that. Negative 2 times x is a negative 2x. Negative 2 times the negative y is the positive 2y that we needed. Negative 2 times the negative z is a positive 2z. Negative 2 times the negative 3 is the positive 6. That is what we needed. Okay, now this gives our new equation 2. Our new equation 2 added to our equation 3 will be negative 2x and a positive 3x is a positive x. Positive 2y with a negative 2y does cancel out. That's what we wanted. And positive 2z and a positive 3z is a positive 5z. Bringing down the equal sign. A positive 6 and a negative 12 is a negative 6. So our new equation B becomes x plus 5z equals negative 6. Okay, now our next step is to eliminate another variable. We would by adding a and b together. So we would look at eliminate x by adding our equations a and b together. When we look at a and b, we see that a is a 3x, positive 3x. So in order to eliminate it, we need a negative 3x. B is just x. So we must multiply b by a negative 3 in order to make that a negative 3x. We must multiply the whole equation, of course. So let's do that. Negative 3 times x is a negative 3x. That's what we needed. Negative 3 times a positive 5z is a negative 15z. And a negative 3 times a negative 6 is a positive 18. Now we have the new equation B. And we can now add it to equation A. Negative 3x and a positive 3x does cancel out to 0. That's what we wanted. We have a negative 15z with a positive 2z. That leaves us with a negative 13z. Bring down the equal sign. 18 minus the 5 My 18 with a negative 5 is a positive 13. So, now our new equation is negative 13z equals 13. We must now divide off the coefficient from the variable. Dividing off that negative 13 from the negative 13z gives us a positive z, bringing down the equal sign. And that 13 divided by that negative 13 we do over here as well, and that's our negative 1. Now we have z equals 1. We will plug that z into equation A. That would gives us 3x plus 2 times that negative 1 equals negative 5. That becomes 3x minus 2 equals negative 5. Again, separate the coefficients from the variable by moving the coefficient to the other side by taking its opposite. If we do it on this side, we are to do it over here as well, the other side of the equation. In doing that, the 3x come down. Negative 2 and the positive 2 becomes 0. They cancel out. Bring down the equal sign. Negative 5 and the positive 2 is a negative 3. New equation, 3x equals negative 3. Now we have, again, a variable on a coefficient on the variable. We have to divide it off again. Dividing it off, then the 3x divided by that coefficient 3 leaves us with an x. Negative 3 divided by that coefficient 3 leaves us with a negative 1. Now we know x is negative 1. We are now have z is negative 1, x is negative 1. We can now plug them both into the first equation in order to solve for y. First equation is 2x plus y plus 3z equals negative 2. Let's plug in our x and our z. We have 2 times negative 1 plus y plus 3 times negative 1 equals negative 2. That becomes negative 2 plus y plus negative 2 plus y minus 3 equals negative 2. Combined like terms. The coefficients are like terms. Negative 3 and negative 2 comes together to make negative 5. Bring down the y, not minus 5 equals negative 2. Separate coefficients from variables again by moving the coefficient to the other side by taking its opposite. Negative 5 opposite is positive 5. Must do the same to this side of the equation as well. Bring down the y. Negative 5 positive 5 cancels out to 0. Bring down the equal sign. Negative 2 and the positive 5 is a positive 3. That means y equals 3. Now we have solved all three variables for this three-variable system here. Now remember, the key to 90% or better in all math, whether it's algebra, geometry, trigonometry, or calculus, is practice, practice, practice. Once you have learned the directions on how to complete equations properly, you are now practicing to do all of them at a much faster pace. Your goal is to get 90% accuracy on all exams within the time frame given. That only comes through practice. Always search for more equations. You can copy these out and do them. Don't let the numbers scare you. They all follow the same pattern. Okay? Practice is your key to 90% or better on your math exams. So please set up your equations with directions, with equations step by step next to your directions, and always have your little note reminders at the top. Okay? Thank you for visiting Algebra Note Made Simpler, and I hope to visit you again in the next video, and may you have a good day.